In the last episode, Reuben and I lifted up the bullbar to suit the 79 Land Cruiser bonnet. Then we bent up some front and rear brush rails, completing a 360-degree bar work setup. And in this episode, we're pretty much finishing the welding as well as adding a ton more strength to the setup. Now we're pretty much doing this all DIY, so if you're thinking about doing the same, I recommend checking out the last episode for some good tips. But for now, let's get into today's episode. Proudly supported by Superior Engineering, iTech World, and in part by... It is the next weekend and I'm going to pick up pretty much exactly where we left off in the last episode. Got these rear bars tacked on, so I need to go ahead and finish the welding on that. I am also thinking about adding some gussets here, here, and here, just for some added strength. And I've borrowed some dimple dies in order to make them look cooler. And then I'm also going to remove the roof rack and see if we can fabricate up a tube style one, because I think it'll look a lot better. I'm also still considering what to do about this rear quarter. If we make a bar that comes out, across and down, it may not look that good, and we've obviously got the fuel cap to worry about. This little bar here does serve quite good protection for damaging the rear quarter. That is going to push us off a lot of rocks. So I'm still thinking about that rear section. Also, Reuben is on his way to give me a hand. So thank you, Reuben. I appreciate it. So I'm going to start by getting some welds on this. Obviously, I can't get to the backside until we pull it all off. But if I can get at least enough tacks to just hold it secure, then I can go ahead, cut that, get the roll cage joiner in. We can start removing bit by bit and then finish the welding.
Head shit right in the way.
I was going to run over it, but I was like, oh.
I'd stink up the shed.
Right, that's everything welded up to the point where it feels pretty firm. We've obviously still got to put the collars in, but we figured we may as well go ahead and start doing these infill plates. So we've got two cut, they're gonna go in there, but we do want to put a dimple die in, which is a piece like this. So we do need to put a hole smack bang in the middle of that and then press the dimple die into it. And it's gonna give a similar look to this plate here. It'll just kind of tie in that corner. Or at least that's the theory anyway. I've also cut these little gussets here and they're gonna go on the sliders like this, in like that. So it's just gonna add a little bit more strength when we hit the side here. It just won't bend it as much and that looks quite nice. It's kind of subtle. Once that's done, go ahead, put the tube joiners in there, but we are gonna have to drop the bull bar in order to put that in and probably drop the rear bar as well, just because of the way that they lock together. So once everything is welded in, we'll let it all cool, then we'll go ahead and cut that, weld those in, and then that'll pretty much be the bar work done.
What we're going to do is drill a pretty decent sized hole in this plate so that we can insert the male side. You can see it's got that post there to locate it, and then it's got the chamfered edge on the lower there. And then on the female side, it's got the exact same chamfer to receive it. Race cars tend to do this because you're taking out material, and in the same process, you're also adding a bit of rigidity to a plate that otherwise wouldn't have much. It's basically a race car.
Pretty much is a race car.
It's basically what I'm saying. Bit from the back. It always helps to double, triple check before you I was about to say something up. The hole drilled, and we've got the dimpled die in there, and we're just going to double check that we've got it in the right direction, because they are directional, and you want the side that's being pressed in to the outside of the car and the side that's being pressed out to the inside of the car, which will make more sense once you can see it.
Oh yeah, keep going.
Maybe we should thinners that off.
Right, that worked. We've just kind of got rid of our texture marks, but it did work. It's just a bit smaller than we were expecting. That's pretty much what that will look like. So we're either thinking about adding 2 more, or possibly 3 more, or possibly none. That is the question. I think 1 there, 1 there, 1 there. Like a cartoon version of Swiss cheese. But anyway, that's it. That's how it's staying. I think if we were to do it again, I'd probably do big one, medium one, little one, and like taper them along there somehow. But we ended up with this. We don't have any more plates, so we're leaving it at that. Very nice. I'm taking this roof rack off because I just don't like the plate look, and I want to kind of try and build a tube style one. And I Loctited all the bolts.
Cross-threaded them.
Yeah. They just Loctite.
That's so light.
That looks so much better.
I love it even more now.
I love it. It does look bald though. It looks so weird after seeing it for so long with the roof rack.
Actually makes the wheels look like hectic big now that's not as tall. Like it looks real bottom heavy now.
Oh, does that look alright?
Kind of hard to see. I'll come around this side.
What I was actually thinking is just this one.
Yeah.
And just one of these at the back.
Okay.
So I can hang lights off the back, hang lights at the front. Right, now Reuben has just gone home. The roof rack is off. It looks a lot better in my opinion. Now I do want to make a tube roof rack. I don't know if I'm going to do it in this episode because I kind of want to order some light bars and then figure out exactly where they need to be. But I think taking that roof rack off was definitely the right call. It just looks so much nicer. Now that the gusset here is done, or sort of done, I'm going to go ahead and gusset the sliders here. So I'm going to put one there and one over the back section. What that's going to do is just make it a little bit stronger. I have these pieces cut and prepped, ready to go. So I'm going to weld those in, then we can start thinking about the roll cage joiners. Right, it is now the next day. Where I'm at with Ron Burgundy is I've got everything gusseted up. Now I did go ahead and make a little dimple dyed gusset right there. It is a bit of a sharp edge, like it's not too bad. I don't think that's going to be a problem, but I can't really put a bar across here just because of how the door opens. It's going to be too close to the door. So I'm going to leave that in there. I think when it's painted, it'll look a lot better. You can see I've even got a gusset on the back side of that. So everything is going to be really strong. And then what I have left to do today before before we even think about paint is I need to get these collars into here. So Reuben yesterday went around and marked everywhere that I need to cut. So thank you, Reuben. And then we've got these collars here. So this is a roll cage joiner there, and you can see they separate like that and then they move apart. So not only do they have to come up because of that interlocking section right there, but they need to come up and across. So we can't really just go ahead and cut the bar work and then slot these in because mainly because of those little lugs. So yeah, I am going to figure out a way to get that into the bar work so that we can remove everything and get it ready for paint. Right, that's the collars done. So now I'm going to take them off and I can take the bull bar, rear bar and drop the sliders and we can finish welding it and then start getting it ready for some paint. Right, got the bar off. Now, when I did these, I made it so the bull bar could come down like that and then out because like I said, it's got that interlocking part right there, so you can't have it slide straight out. So that's something worth considering, and you got to make sure these are the exact same on both sides. Otherwise, when you go to take it off, one will be drop and one will be lift, and you'll kind of be stuck there in limbo. Now I'm going to go ahead, drop the sliders, drop the rear bar, get it all in the shed and get Ron Burgundy out of here so we can start prepping, finish welding, painting. Lots of work left to do, but it's going to be worth it. Right, that was a bit of a mission because I had to drop the long arm mount thing in order to get the mount of the slider down, but I managed to get it. It was just a little bit tricky on my own, but that is all the bar work on the ground, laid out, ready for welding. There's not much more to say other than I've got a fair bit of welding in front of me. I'm really worried about the brush bars coming out of alignment, so I'm really going to take my time over there. I think the bull bar can pretty much just smash with the weld, but yeah, these bits here, the brush bars, they need to stay in the same spot. So we can't get too much heat in them. It's actually so weird seeing Ron now with no roof rack and no bar work at all. It's like a little stumpy man now, but still looks pretty sick. Right, all the bar work is done and prepped up. Now, I was hoping to get this stuff painted in this episode, but there is a lot of steel there. That's not gonna happen today. I've got to basically sand it all back and do a bit more prep on it, and then obviously primer, paint. By the time I do that, it's gonna be, you know, midnight. But to finish off this episode, I figured I'd give you guys a quick update on the GU because some people are probably wondering what is going on with it, and I'm sort of wondering that myself. Now, if you're unaware of the original problem with the GU, it has a broken flex plate, as you can see right here, cracked in the center. And instead of refixing the adapter and trying to make that flex plate work, I decided to go a whole new transmission. Now the problem with that is it's completely sort of different, but the good news is it is a 4JJ1 transmission out of an MUX. Pretty much where we're at is I've bought the 5-speed and it's ready to sort of go in, but I do need to pull the motor on this. So the motor has to come out because I need to change the lower part of the sump. The MUX runs a different bolt pattern for the motor, so we are going to have to pull that and change it to a bottom half MUX sump. Once I do that, it is also 80 millimeters longer, or at least what we're measuring at the moment is 80 mil longer. So I do need to make a custom cross member as well as a custom drive shaft. So we are making way with the GU behind the scenes, but it's just very slow because I need to make sure I have everything so that when we pull it into the shed, we can just rip into it and get it done. The other thing that's happening is Wholesale Autos are making me a custom harness for the transmission so that I can use a TB48 shifter because that has Triptronic and the MUX has a 5-speed Triptronic, which is actually something I'm really looking forward to. But yeah, the GU will make a return on the channel. It's just a case of making sure I've got everything underway so that yeah, we can get it done. The really sad thing about this car is it broke one day before our trip and I had the whole back of this thing ready to go. So this is literally all ready to go for camping and touring, but we just never got around to even using it once, which does make me sad, but I can't wait for the return of this thing. We've also got some other mods going onto it as well, just to change it up a bit. But as you can see, the inside is still pulled down. That is the ground through there. Transmission's out. Mike from Aussie 4J Adapters has the lower part of the sump and the transmission at the moment. He went and picked it up for me because it was close to his house. So we do have most of the parts, but hopefully I'll get the time soon to pull this into the shed. It's a bit hard with Ron on the go. I don't want to have 2 cars pulled apart in there. It's been like, what, 4 months, 5 months. It's just been literally sitting right there. But I thought I'd give you guys an update anyway. We need to finish Ron. That is the main objective of the channel at the moment. And obviously we've got the bar work done. We've got the number plates sitting over here. Got these ready to go. So once I get an engineer cert, get this thing registered, get it on the road, then we'll probably start on the GU and get that back on the road. So if you're not subscribed and you want to see that thing driving the road, drop us up now and then you won't miss it or something like that. So cheers for watching, guys. I'll catch you in the next episode. Bar work almost done, thank God. It's made a pretty good home for the lawnmower though, so that's a bonus.